Hi sweeties, how are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sin. If this is your first time of coming across this channel, sweetheart, kindly smash that subscribe button and turn your notification so you are notified each time I upload, and please give this video a thumb up. I appreciate you all so much, and I am saying a very big shout out to every one of you for the support and love you all shower me here with. I am grateful, and you all are super sweet. So someone is asking, what are we celebrating? And I am asking, what is, we're celebrating everything. The victory, the special spiritual cheer that did the job for us. We're celebrating breaking up norms, breaking up the curses, breaking up everything, because you all have been used to it happening in one way. It is not okay that black people came all out to defend themselves, but it is okay if it is the other way. It is okay for a white person to unalive, to kick, bump to a black person. But it is not okay for a black person to stand up for himself and all that. And yes, it flipped the script, and we are all happy that the script flipped, that we are. And it is quite stupidity, or it's stupid that somebody is coming out to ask, what if it was you all saw 5 person ganging just 1 person. Why? Because he was dutifully discharging his duty, right? And somebody that is supposed to do the right thing wasn't doing the right thing. And he was caught to do the right thing. And he does not want to do the right thing. And what was the Karen doing? Because I was expecting somebody to know that, man, this thing is getting out of 5 person. Nobody decided to do the right thing, to say, oh no, we are not supposed to do this. We are not supposed to hit somebody in the in the process. It was not the black person that started the whole thing. It was you all that started it. And somebody is telling me, what if the coin flipped? Thank God it did not flip, and it is never gonna flip. That spiritual share is doing wonders, and it will keep doing wonders. I am going to roll this clip. We'll come back to talk about it. Let me know what you all think in the comment section. So let's get it.
All right. All morning, the only conversation and the only videos I've seen on the feed all morning are this whole thing with the Montgomery brawl. And here's my thoughts on this. Had this had happened, flip the script for a second. Had it been a couple of black guys on that boat and a black guy assault a white security guard, and then a bunch of white folks came to save the day and beat the shit out of a couple of black folks, including women. That woman got fucking schwacked with a fucking lawn chair, or with a chair. Just the whole thing was ridiculous. But just switch it for a second. Had it been the other way around, you wouldn't see all these white folks across the internet celebrating it. Like, yeah, they deserved it. Yeah, we stuck together. This is what we got to do. No. The whole thing is wrong. The whole thing is fucked up because you guys are celebrating this. It was wrong. Had they had just stopped the altercation and it been at that, then that would have been handled like adults, like mature adults. But instead, y'all continue to beat the fuck out of these middle-aged to older people. There was a couple of younger guys there, but 2 of those ladies getting smacked by chairs? Come on, man. In what situation is that right? In what fucking world are we going to celebrate that? Because I'm telling you right now, if it had been a bunch of white folks fucking beating the shit out of a couple of black kids out there and hitting an old black lady with a fucking chair across the head while she was laying down, not fighting, this would be an entirely different story. Whole different situation. So you guys are celebrating, jumping on these people, but really, you all should be embarrassed. And everybody who is making videos to fucking take up for the whole thing, you're ridiculous. You're all wrong. Switch it for a second. Had it been the other way around, you wouldn't see all these white folks.
You know what? I thought it was a lot when the Klondike bars decided that they were going to try to force us to empathize and sympathize with the glue goblins. Y'all are taking it to a whole other level with this whole, what if the roles were in reverse? Because they have been. They have always been in reverse. It's not like black people have historically been going around jumping white people because they felt like it and the government has been on their side the entire time. Leading to the fact that black people, although the most criminalized in this country, the most arrested in this country, is also the most exonerated for false crimes that they have placed upon them. Historically perpetrated by white people, which is why you have Karens and Kyles calling the cops on us on a regular basis trying to get us arrested. Side note, black people, please keep recording your interactions with racist white people, because we know that these same people who are claiming what if the roles were in reverse would sit up here and lie on you to the police and try to have you falsely arrested for a crime you did not commit. For y'all to sit up here and say, what if the roles were reversed in 2023? Like, we do not have history books. We do not have multiple copies of video of y'all lying on us and attacking us without getting charged for any of your violence towards us. It's insane. So the moment when a black person is attacked by a group of white people and black people decide to stand up for said black person, you want to talk about what if the roles were reversed, still not acknowledging the violence that occurred against said black person? Are you stupid? Are you stupid? Historically, black people have been deemed violent in this country when we have never been the ones to initiate the violence. You're just mad because you got caught on video for starting the violence and getting your ass whipped. And you deserve that ass whipping. And I agree with everybody who has said that this should be how Karens, Kyles, and all other acts of white violence against black bodies should be dealt with moving forward.
So you guys are celebrating jumping on these people, but really you all should be embarrassed. And everybody who's
I have been waiting for a white person's hot take. Oh, waiting. I was wondering why white folks are so quiet about this, because this is what a lot of them secretly think, but they're not ready for the heat. This man said, what if the tables were turned and black people were being abused by white people as white people cheered? Welcome to every day of the lives of black folks in the United States. So were you fighting for this shame when they were feeding black babies to alligators? Were you fighting people to feel bad when they were having picnics beneath the burned and disemboweled bodies of lynched black folks? Were you fighting for white shame when they were hosing down black people and sicking dogs on them for asking for equality? Were you clamoring for white people to take accountability and feel bad when they were killing members of SNCC and all types of activists? And when that doctor spit in the face of a dying Martin Luther King? Are you asking for shame then? Shut up.
If it had been the other way around, you wouldn't see all these white folks across the internet.
Yes, Chris, there are a lot of us white people celebrating what happened in Alabama and the fact that there was some retribution there for our black community. Being that it was the white privilege way of thinking people, white supremacist ideology thinking people started that whole fucking mess, Chris. So yeah, I think it's fucking funny that people got bopped on the head with a chair and what have you. They were jumping in the river to get away, you know, and some got tossed out there in the river and got baptized real quick. Chris, you know, every day, Chris, I have to look at the news feeds and stuff, and I do a lot of reading, and every day a white person is attacking black people every fucking day. And that they, most of the time, their lives are being taken. Chris, have you ever read this article right here? You really should. And read it with an open mind and an open heart. Really take it in. 6 white ex-officers, because they all got fired now, in Mississippi plead guilty to assault on 2 black men. And it was a heinous assault. From sexual assault to one cop putting a gun into one of the victims' mouths and pulling the trigger. Really, Chris, you ought to go read it. Chris, this is a really good one for you to read too. Woman who drove into children gets 25 years for hate crime. A white woman did that, Chris. So sometimes you got to bop them on the head, even when they're down, to make sure they stay down, Chris. See, Chris, this is an old woman. But guess what? She unalived somebody. Again, sometimes you just got to bop them on the head, Chris. White Florida woman who shot black neighbor called kids racial slurs, cops say. Now, Chris, you're really going to love these right here because, you know, this white supremacists took many people's lives. Please go read it. Chris, do you remember this one? Buffalo shooting gunman drove 200 miles out of his way for a pure evil hate crime. That's where he killed 10 innocent black people and wounded 3 more. Have you ever seen this story, Chris? Black woman attacked by 4 white men wielding lighter fluid, taunting with racial slurs. They doused her down with lighter fluid as she sat in her car, and then they threw the match in on her, Chris. So yes, Chris, a lot of us white people are celebrating with our black community for that little bit of retribution they got the other day.
This had happened. Flip the script for a second. Had it been a couple of black guys on that boat?
See, this what I be talking about right here. This what I be talking about right here. We can fight. We can fight. But you can't hit me back because that ain't going to be fair. This what I'm talking about right here. This what I'm talking about right here. It was some black guys on that boat. Yep. Let your people tell it. We got off that bitch in chains. About 400 and some years ago. That been more than 400 years, but about 400 some years ago, yeah, it was a couple of black guys on that boat. Let your people tell it. For the past 400 and some odd years, y'all done been getting away with the most horrific crimes to humanity that's known to man. Y'all done been getting away with this. After so-called slavery ended, your people got scared and went to hanging black folks because y'all thought we was gonna do to y'all what y'all did to us. Every time we asked for equality and to be left alone, hey, y'all is killing off our leaders. Hey, you is sicking dogs on us. Hey, you is hosing us down. Blowed up a whole church and killed 4 innocent black girls because all we wanted was peace. Your people did that shit. Beat a young black brother so bad till you couldn't even recognize him and threw him in the river. His name was Emmett Till. Your people did that because they say he whistled at a white woman. Turns out that white woman told a goddamn lie. Your people put a 14-year-old in the electric chair for a crime he didn't commit. Where you think the movie The Green Mile come from? They killed Fred Hampton in his fucking sleep. And all he was doing was giving away grits in the morning. Go research the Rainbow Coalition. They ran Huey P. Newton crazy. And all he wanted was our rights. They put Jeff Ford in prison. And all he wanted to do was build a school. Shall I continue? Shall I continue to tell you all the horrific crimes that your people have done to my people? Not to mention y'all tricked us out of our land. Your people ain't been shit but trouble ever since you goddamn got here. And hey, you go talking about they wrong for jumping on some people that jumped on a black dude that was trying to get them to move a boat? You thought everybody was supposed to sit around and watch them get beat on? Y'all done been doing this shit for the past 400 and some odd years, and the first time we give you the same energy back, you and your motherfucking feelings? Black people dying by the hands of the law for no fucking reason, and you talking about that shit was wrong? Your mama should have swallowed. Your daddy should have shot you in a sock.
Shit for a second. Had it been the other way around, you wouldn't see all these white folks.
It has been the other way around, Chris, multiple times, all throughout history. And when it was the other way around, whole mobs of white people burnt down black towns, cities, ran hundreds of black people out of their own homes, towns, and cities off the strength of a white man or a white woman's lie. Black people have literally been strung up in trees for less, simply because your grandfathers and great-grandfathers didn't like the fact that they were educated or they looked nice today, or any and every excuse they could find to brutalize and unalive black people. Spare us the soapbox. We don't care. As a black person from Alabama, I couldn't be more prouder of those black people for coming and doing what needed to be done. Okay, as far as I'm concerned, they all deserve a medal. Nobody feels sorry for them white folks in that boat. We don't care about them two ladies that got their asses whooped. You should have sat your ass to the side and let the men folk fight. Instead, you wanted to jump in and be a part of the action, and you got a piece of the action. You got your ass whooped too. Oh, fuck well. It's a new dawn, babes, and a new day, honey. Okay, if we're turning the other cheek in 2023, it's the turn to get a gun, a knife, or some momentum. Because when I turn back around, you're getting this work.
Flip the script for a second. Had it been a couple of black guys on that boat and...
Nah, fuck that, because the script has already been flipped because it's 2023. And historically speaking, the United States of America has already developed a culture where an angry mob of white men can engage a black person and cause them bodily harm and even or kill them, and nothing happens to the aggressor. It's 2023 and people were not going to stand by while an angry mob of white people engaged an elderly black man, one of which ran up to him with a running knee to the head, which could have killed him. But you want to highlight the aftermath of what happened when they ignited the fire. I see you. And you made this video as if it was going to bring some sort of resolve. Nah, we still laughing and celebrating.
Flip the script for a second. Had it been a couple of black guys on that boat and...
Here's the problem with your theory, Carpenter Chris. It wasn't the other way around. And if you really want to go into the actual situation, at the beginning, it was the other way around. You see, all that happened was the score was actually evened. And turnabout brings fair play. Now, I understand that you want to stand with your people or whatever the case may be, but think of this as person on person. You want to know the crazy thing? The fact that you, as a man, came out and tried to flip this situation as if this was something that could happen, it actually shows me your character. Because you can bet your bottom dollar that had that been a white security guard getting jumped on by those same white people, since you want to flip the script, those same black people probably would have jumped off the boat and came to that white man's aid. And for whatever reason, you lack the humanity to actually do that very thing that I just described. You lack the compassion to do that very same thing that I just described. But I don't have to tell you that. All you have to do is tell yourself that. Ask yourself, do I have the humanity and patience and compassion to jump off and involve myself in something that I had nothing to do with, but it was an unfair advantage? Besides, you know you better than I know you. You see how I can have this whole conversation and not even talk about race? But as you bring up those scenarios, or whatever the case may be, and you switch the scenario in order to make a point, let's switch the scenario, okay? Let's switch the scenario to the one that I just gave. If those same people encountered a white security guard, do you think the part that led up to all of what you're talking about, do you think that even happens? In your heart of hearts, do you believe that if that was a white security guard, they wouldn't have just done what it was that they were being asked to do? You see, there's this thing called when you fuck around, you find out. There was no mercy on that one individual going up against all of those other individuals, including the same women who got hit with chairs, who were putting their hands while that man was at a disadvantage. And somehow, magically, you want someone to have compassion for them once the tables turn.
For a second. Had it been the other way around, you wouldn't see all these white folks across...
Babes, we could have just said, I'm a racist and I'm upset that racist white people got what was coming to them, because The roles have been reversed plenty, my love. All you have to do is crack open a history book. Oh, but I know that's hard for some of y'all. Kyle Rittenhouse was literally celebrated so much so for unaliving, not hitting somebody in the head with a chair, for unaliving people, that all of his legal fees were paid because white people were celebrating him on the internet. Trayvon Martin's murderer, George Zimmerman, literally autographed Skittles and Arizona teas because white people want to celebrate the unaliving he caused to Trayvon Martin. Notice how you're upset about somebody getting hit with a chair? That you miss that white people have celebrated the unaliving of black people. Yeah. Do better, babes.
The whole thing is wrong. The whole thing is fucked up because you guys are celebrating this. It was wrong.
Hey, you know what's the funny part about everything that you just said, sir? Mr. Carpenter, whatever your name is that you failed to understand that he was doing his job. One, they decided to jump him. Two, and then now you decided to flip the script and say, oh, what if it was on the other side? It wasn't on the other side, sir. They started with this man. He was doing his job, bro. It's simple, bro. They fucked up, bro. They thought they had a okie doke. They thought they could have did whatever they wanted. They thought they got away with it. No, sir. Like, no, it don't work like that, bro. Like, you don't get it? Like, what was the hard part of hey, you guys need to move your boat because the laws of the seas are little boats move for big boats. Period. They know this is something that they know. It's not something that everybody on that boat just came up with at the same moment. So they could have easily avoided the confrontation. But no, they wanted to jump that black man by himself, and they thought it was going to be okay. And it wasn't. So they got their ass whooped, bro. I'm like, it's simple. Period. It's simple. It's not even about being adults. Well, at the end, yeah, they could have been adults and said, oh, okay, my bad. Our boat's in the way. We'll take care of it and move it. They didn't do that. So they wanted that privilege. Oh, we ain't got to listen to you. Oh, really? You don't? Not only did they feel like we ain't have to listen to you, oh, we gonna jump you. Like, come on, bro. Like, I don't understand how you trying to fight back. Like, yes, I know. Like I said it. I know she got hit with a lawn chair. I know this. But she had the decision of saying, listen, this is a grown man. I am a woman. They handling this. Oh, you know what? I'm going to stand back and I'm going to let this play out. They didn't do that. She didn't do that. She wanted to fight too. So she got a lawn chair, period. Like the
videos I've seen on the feed all morning are this whole thing with the Montgomery bro.
Sir, I don't think you watched the whole video. That's what I think the problem is. You're taking it as one man was assaulted by one man, and that's not what happened. It was one man got assaulted by like 6 people, including 2 women. Yes, I don't think you saw that video. Go around, get some other clips, but I think that's why you're having a problem. And see, the other deal is, we know that if that had happened in your scenario, then we know that they would no longer be on this earth. You're pretending like you don't understand American politics. I don't know where you're from. I don't know where you are. But that's how the United States goes. So, in this video, let's start with security guard. And he is black, okay? I'm sorry you don't want to see it that way, but he is a black man in Montgomery, Alabama. And again, if you're not from the United States, you probably don't know the history of the area where they were. Now, they were asked nicely, and you can see it in the video, to move their boat. They didn't want to. So he decides he's going to move the boat for them. Not one, not two, not even three, but a whole gang jumped that black man. And you're upset because we're laughing because they in turn got jumped. I think you're so used to seeing black people being the butt of the joke. It's weird for you to see that they stood up for each other. Now, I don't always get involved in politics and all of that stuff. But I think I can't believe that you're from the United States or that you're aware of what's going on in the United States. I also don't think that you saw the whole video. You probably saw one guy run up and hit the security guy. And then you saw the brawl. And you're like, well, that's not fair. Well, whoever sent you that, I'm going to let you know that they're not your friend. Because they sure as heck took out the part where, like I said, there's like 6 people on one black dude. 6 people and 2 women. That woman in red came up and kicked that security dude in the head. Now, I want to hear the same outrage. I want to hear it because you feel some kind of way. But I want to hear that outrage that she came up and kicked him in the head. Let me hear it. There's also another video, if you look, while he's fighting off 3 dudes, she's coming around and she's punching them in the head. Just sneaking in those punches. Now, I said this earlier, I'm not a fan of the fact that she got hit in the head with the chair. I'm not really a fan. I think it's funny, ha ha ha, but I laugh through trauma. So maybe that's something you guys are going to have to start doing. But look here. We don't know how hard she was actually hit, because I want to say she just got bopped. But I don't know that. I know that in the United States we have a...
For a second. Had it been a couple of black guys on that boat and a black guy...
If those men were black and that security guard was not a black person, those 4 black men would have did the right thing and moved their boat or car out of the way instead of trying to cause some confusion. But you know what would have happened? They would have got the cops called on them for doing the right thing. They would have had the police and SWAT team surrounded them and pointed guns at them because they thought that they were involved in a kidnapping. That black man, who was so happened to be a security guard, respectfully said, hey, if you guys don't mind, you just move your boat out of the way because we got another boat coming through that's about to land in a few seconds. So just try to hurry as soon as possible. They got mad about that and they swung on him. So you know what? They messed around and found out. Because number one, who are you to put your hands on because somebody told you no for an answer? But since you want to talk about if the roles were reversed, let me show you. So no, you don't get to pick the whataboutism because you can't get your way. They got exactly what they wanted in the discussion.
So this is all I got from this tissues, and let me start by saying that anybody that is trying to say that I am not a fan that something was hit on someone, I am a fan of everything that happened. And if somebody is asking, what if the coin or whatever flip the other way, it means you don't know the history of your country. Because if you know the history of your country, you definitely will know that there has never been a way that the coin ever flipped. The coin has always been on the same way, like the same manner, the same everything that they have been operating, their modus operandi, they have always been operating on one way, right? So it is just only this time that everybody came all together to get things done. Because if, like, really, they are all seated in their own house and all that, bringing up their cameras to talk. I am not a fan of all this. Like, you know, I'm a fan of, if it's happened, let it happen. And it has happened, and it has happened, right? Because it has never been in Black people's history that they are violent or something. Never. It has always been the other way around. And somebody is out there bringing out his camera to tell me, oh, are you on? Why are we supposed to be embarrassed? Or why am I supposed to be embarrassed? Embarrassed of what? That we stood up for ourselves and that we came out to do the right thing? Or that 5 persons decided to gang 1 person? Or that they started hitting him first before people came? Or that you don't know the history of where you are? Okay, fine. If you're not from Alabama, that you do not know the history of what that place stands for, it's all right. But what right do you have to lay your filthy fingers or your hands on a full-grown man? That is why I'm asking. And the full-grown man decided to, like, come out to do what he is supposed to do as a man, because you all were ganging him and what hitting him, all that and all that. And people came out to do what they are, the right thing, because that is the right thing. Because 5 of you, no one out of that 5 person deemed it fit to know that I am supposed to stop this thing from escalating. I am supposed to not let anybody hit one another. I mean, it was okay for you all to, like, you know, to start hitting one person, all of you, right? And somebody actually get a special spiritual cheer, and then you all are. I mean, that chair is a very spiritual chair, and I don't know, that chair is doing wonders. And a very big kudos to that chair, and many more to come. Because, I mean, as it stands, trust me, Black people ain't backing down. And if you try again, you collect. You collect with that chair. And it is amazing how all of them are all standing out to say, and why do we have to, why? I was actually waiting for something like this. Like, why are we supposed to be embarrassed by what happened? Like, really? And you're asking, what are we celebrating? Bro, we are celebrating victory. We are celebrating end of so many things. I mean, end of the norms. Like, because it has been like norms that you all are going to, like, you know, wake up and turn against us. It is a norm. So we are celebrating that breaking of that course, breaking of that norm. It is no longer your word, it is our word. And if you refuse to do the right thing, because, like, you know, Black people literally cannot do anything. He is asking, like, what are you guys celebrating? What if the coin flipped? Like, the coin has always been, like, you know, when Jordan Neely was, like, you know, in the train, what happened? You all raised almost how many $1,000s for the man that did it, and you all called him a hero. And why is stopping us from also celebrating our own victory, our own win? Because everyone that participated in that, they're all heroes, and they're all heroes. So, man, let it slide. If you don't have anything good to say, just go back to your sleep and continue your sleep. Because if you had seen the real video and everything, I am sure you all saw the video. I mean, I am sure you all knew that, I mean, they were wrong, but you all want to come defend bullshit. No, it is no longer time for bullshit. You try, you collect. That is it. This is where I am going to draw the curtain. Thank you so much for the support. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.